So here is the final video of the series. Let's talk about what went wrong, what went right. Let's talk about the future series, and of course, let's see who won. So I look at multiple categories in order to determine the winner. One of them obviously is development. I looked a little bit at maximum manpower because that's something that doesn't really change over time. I believe this is just a category showing just the overall maximum, not what it is right now or anything like that. So I looked at that a little bit. Can't really look at treasury or income too much because those vary from nation to nation. It doesn't necessarily, it's not a good representation of the power that a country might have. I did look at technologies because that did play a role, a slight role, especially for some of the closer countries in like Asia, for instance. Ideas, they're all too similar. Most people had 98, so I didn't look at that too much. I don't look at navy sizes because that's not fair to the countries that were mainly inland, like Russia, for instance. So I didn't look at all at navies, but I looked at force limit. That's one that, is overall, that's just an overall power thing. Total, I didn't because, like I said, someone could have just gotten out of a war. Right now, Egypt and the USA are fighting Iberia, for instance. So there's a pretty big war going on right here. Prussia, Austria. Actually, how did the war occur? Just for the sake of things, and we're not going to press play or anything like that, but we have a Egyptian-Portuguese imperialist war. Aha. Egypt's actually at -7. In terms of that war score. A few more wars going on, but nothing too big. Anyways, let's get into it. Pretty much, again, like always, development pretty much tells us exactly. Development is just such a key category. That's why I always look at it. I mean, even I only put, 1 point for development, whoever's winning development, and same thing for everything else. It's just development pretty much predicts the winner every single time. So that's why I always check it during the series. Peru obviously won South America. Yes, very, very clearly they won South America. North America was the USA. Actually, briefly, I just want to mention that Peru just won the entire campaign. They won everything. So very good for them. I'm in spectator mode, by the way, right now. Not technically the observer mode that I normally watch in. Peru definitely won South America. They won the entire campaign. They had tons and tons of development, even though they lost that second war against the USA. At the end of the day, they lost like 5 provinces and controlling all of South America. Even though, I'm sorry, did I mention that they were forced to release Bolivia? Yeah, that and Uruguay, as well as they lost the 5 cores that they took away from America. But it's fine. So Peru won South America. The USA won North America. That was very easy. Europe was won by Russia. I couldn't give it to anybody else. Honestly, Europe was such a mess. I know that Norway looks powerful, but at the end of the day, Scandinavia doesn't really provide much in terms of strength. The British Isles was a pretty good amount of strength, but that wasn't enough. That really just wasn't enough. Greece didn't do anything. After they got absolutely just demolished when they tried to take on Austria, they were done after that part in the campaign. Naples did okay, but Naples needed a little bit more oomph. They're really close, but Naples needed something else. They were just never really that high in the categories. So yeah, no, I had to give the run to Russia. I mean, by far. Now, Australia should be no surprise here. Again, there were some people that picked Great Britain would keep a hold of the Australian continent. Some people suggested the Netherlands or France would colonize more. And I totally get that theory. But yeah, I mean, you had to have picked Australia to win Australia. And in terms of, Africa, Gabon definitely won. This was actually the reason why so many people got thrown off. Gabon was such a dark horse. They came out of nowhere, pretty much. And just so people know, I mean, nobody won. Nobody won. And that might have been for a few reasons. First of all, this wasn't as big of a campaign in terms of comments as the present day mod. The present day mod got a lot of SEO. It was really high in the Europa Universalis search rankings. So that series got a lot more comments than this series. When I looked at it, as of making this final video, it only had like 800 comments, 800 to 900 comments, and nobody picked Gabon because they were obviously an independent colony that just ended up dominating. They even took away a lot of the Portuguese, like Portuguese Angola, Portuguese Mozambique territory as I continued to progress through the series the last 2 years. So that gave them even more power. They absolutely dominated Africa, and good for them. I think it was, at first it was like, 6 videos ago, it was like, I don't know. I mean, it seems still pretty much like a toss-up, but after they won that war against Egypt, after the Americans definitely lost a bunch of territory here because of the Peruvian War, is very clear the Gaben won. Now, for the interesting one, Asia. Now, surprisingly enough, it came down between 2 nations. That was Nepal and Persia. Yeah, right? So Persia was the obvious one. Nepal was the one that kind of came out of nowhere. Honestly, maybe a few more years, if we would have fast-forwarded a few more years, I could have seen Nepal winning this. But it was, in fact, Persia that had won. Kind of not a super big surprise there. But yes, that was the campaign. That is the EU4 Victorian era timeline mod. I guess AI only series that I've done. Like I said, nobody won, but that's for a few reasons. Gaben was out of nowhere, and there was only 800 comments this time around, so that was the biggest factor, I think. So what I want to do for the next series is I want to go back. I don't want to guarantee anything because I have no idea if this one's going to work, but I do want to go back to my first initial EU4 AI only battle where I actually just had a few nations and they colonized the world. It was like a Civ 5 to EU4 battle. And I think that's what I'm going to do this time because I do need to mix it up. I can't continue to do present, timeline mods especially because there's only a few timelines that I can do. I want to mix and match a little bit of both of them. I'm not guaranteeing you this, but I think I'm going to go back to that format because a lot of people have been asking me with the expansion of the Cossacks and the new patch. Paradox has done a really, really good job. They've seen the success of not mine, but just overall the community's enjoyment of AI-only battles with only 30 or a few nations that colonize the world. So they did put a lot more mechanics in there to anticipate for that sort of thing with this new expansion. So I really want to, kind of explore that. A lot of people have been suggesting and begging me to go back to that sort of format. So I'm going to try it. I can't guarantee it to you that I'm going to make it work this time, but we'll see. If not, then I'll do it, obviously another timeline inside of the extended timeline mod. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this campaign. I love you guys. I love you guys for the support. I love that you guys enjoy this campaign as much as I do. EU4 and AI only series. These games are just so much. They're drastically different. First of all, from Civ 5, but at the same time, I really enjoy them because there are similarities, and I really enjoy watching the AI play. So I hope you guys do as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.